Good evening. I'd like to call our regular business meeting to order and ask the treasurer to call the roll.
President Baker.
Present.
Mr. Brown.
Here.
Vice President Cole.
Present.
Ms. Gibbs.
Here.
Ms. Hudson.
Here.
Mr. Peretti.
Here.
And Ms. Reyes.
Here.
You have a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer, and I would like to ask our internal auditor to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance this evening.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, now what I'd like to do is just briefly read through the agenda so we all know the work we have before us this evening. We will take public comment, assuming we have any speakers signed up. If we don't, we'll hear then from the superintendent, who will provide his report, after which the treasurer will provide a brief report, after which we will hear from the internal auditor if she has anything to share. We will then consider our consent agenda, after which the board will take announcements and then adjourn into executive session. So having said that, the chair will now entertain a motion that we approve the agenda as presented.
Second. Or so moved, excuse me.
Yes, sir?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Mr. Treasurer?
President Baker.
Yes.
Mr. Brown.
Yes.
Vice President Cole.
Yes.
Ms. Gibbs.
Yes.
Ms. Hudson.
Yes.
Mr. Peretti.
Yes.
Ms. Reyes.
Yes.
That motion carried.
Thank you very much. Now, I do not believe we have any speakers this evening. We do not have any speakers this evening, so we will call upon the superintendent to provide a report. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, President Baker, Vice President Cole, members of the board. Happy November. Each week, I try to spend part of my comments celebrating the spirit of success, energizing our district, highlighting a small handful of the countless positive, engaging, and inspiring activities at our schools. If you were to open our new mobile app, you'd find dozens of these examples, dozens, all within just this past week. In fact, today, the Woodward Park assistant principal had his head shaved bald as part of a challenge to the soccer team to go undefeated, and they did. And so in front of an audience of over 1,500 students, they shaved his head. The Eastmoor Academy ninth graders are giving back to their community. They assembled 100 Care-to-Go bags for the Homeless Families Foundation. Our culinary students opened the downtown high school cafe. They prepare and serve a menu of food to the public visitors while developing their valuable skills and knowledge in food service management. The students and staff at Yorktown Middle School, who lead dance competitions, taped a teacher to the wall. The teacher understood that would happen, and went head-to-head in a friendly volleyball competition, all to show support for breast cancer awareness. Eastgate Elementary students enjoyed books for breakfast, reading some of the nearly 8,000 books that were donated through their partnership with the Columbus Metropolitan Library and Panera Bread. Parkmore Elementary students balanced on the new Inclusive Practices pre-K playground equipment, which was donated by yet another generous local partner. The Briggs High School student leadership team shared words of wisdom with the Wedgwood Middle School students during a workshop on bullying. Sherwood Middle School's first annual Our School Rocks March and Rally against bullying and drug use took place. Dominion sixth graders used miniature robots to create intricate maps. Students from Walnut Ridge, Sherwood, and Shady Lane received free haircuts courtesy of the Ohio State Barber College. The City of Columbus's Hall of Fame induction of West High School alum Don Easel, an Apollo 7 astronaut, took place, and 5 Ohio colleges taking part in a special college application day at Lyndon McKinley occurred, and the story is of one student who learned that his admission was automatically approved right on the spot. So all of this just within the past few days. Perhaps the most viewed pictures, though, were from our celebration and the official dedication of the new Linden Park Neighborhood Early Childhood Education Center. If it's true that pictures are worth 1,000 words, and let me share 1,000,000 with you with a video that was produced by our communications team.
Well, today was the exciting opening and grand opening celebration of our Linden Park Neighborhood Early Childhood Education Center. We're finally open, operating, and have our kids in our new space.
Thanks for doing this.
You heard from Dad that early learning really is the start of a lifelong love affair with education and reading and math. Children become familiar each day with new words and new ways to use language and numbers and problem-solving skills. And with help from the City of Columbus, who is represented today by our mayor and others, we're so grateful. And also the Ohio Department of Education, Columbus City Schools has now expanded access to pre-kindergarten for more of our city's 3- and 4-year-olds. In fact, in the last few years, we've boosted the number of seats in our high-quality pre-kindergarten programs by more than 22%. That's something to celebrate.
Rhonda Johnson has really been an integral part in supporting this and the city partnership. And it's not only a partnership with the city and our school district, but also Columbus Early Learning Centers and Child Development Council of Franklin County. So we brought together 2 outside partner providers with Columbus City Schools, all under the same roof. So we're sharing best practices, we're sharing professional development, we're sharing our students. So it's really been amazing for us to be able to collaborate and get that piece together. So it's great for all of our kids.
You came to a movement this morning. You are joining a movement in this community where we are going to provide universal, high-quality pre-K to every young person in the city of Columbus. And this is another big step in that movement.
Because the reality is we really need to continue to increase our spots for pre-K. So it'd be really great if we could do this again in another neighborhood that's maybe underserved and get more kids out and about and into pre-K spots. So hopefully that's the vision and long-term goal is we'll do that. The community's really been great in accepting and coming in and doing projects for us, and just anything we need to help, they've been great.
Nope, not this fish. He's too little for tea.
Wonderful. So thank you again to the board members present then and to this evening, and then also to Rhonda Johnson and to so many others that are and are not in the audience this evening. Word is spreading quickly across all of Linden that this center is a very valuable community resource and that Columbus is on a course to give all 4-year-olds an opportunity to access high-quality pre-kindergarten experiences. Next, I hope you'll indulge me in celebrating the achievements of a few of our high school student athletes who either have competed or are set to compete at the state championship level. Just recently, Centennial's Zoe Wow took 3rd place in the state in the girls' tennis finals. Beechcroft's boys soccer team plays tomorrow night in the state playoffs down in Xenia. Eastmore Academy's boys cross country qualified for the state championship meet, which is this Saturday at National Trail Raceway. In football, we had 3 teams qualify for the state playoffs: Beechcroft, Eastmore, and West. West will play against New Albany this Friday in New Albany, and Eastmore and Beechcroft will play each other this Saturday at Eastmore. The kickoff time for both games is 7 p.m. And finally tonight, as this is the last meeting before the election, I would like to take a personal moment to thank the board and also thank many members of the administrative team and our district's treasurer for devoting countless hours to providing our community with valuable information about our levy request. Through your time and efforts, our community will be able to make their decision about Issue 57 based on data and information, not innuendo and misperceptions. We've been very upfront and honest about what the levy will fund, and we've been very clear about how we will hold ourselves accountable for these new investments if the levy is approved. Election Day is a time to make voices heard, and I fully expect our community to share its voice very loudly about education and the work of our district on November 11th, and we will be listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. Are there any questions from board members for the superintendent or his report? Have you anything else to share with the board this evening at this time? All right, thank you very much. Let's then move on to the treasurer. Treasurer Bajorek, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Just an announcement and reminder that the Finance and Appropriations Committee will meet once again for the month of November on the 10th, which is a week from this coming Thursday. It's at 4 p.m. in this room. And that's it.
Thank you, Treasurer Bihorek. Madam Internal Auditor, have you anything you'd like to share with the board this evening?
Yes, I do. Thank you, President Baker, Vice President Coe, members of the board. At the October 27th Audit and Accountability meeting, the committee voted on 4 actions. The committee voted to release the budgeting follow-up audit. This audit was performed to determine if the recommendations for the budgeting audit released in April of 2015 have been implemented and operating as intended. From the 6 recommendations, 5 have been successfully implemented. 1 item was no longer applicable with the update of the Board of Education's revised policies. However, the committee and management believe that the item added value, and Mr. Gooding agreed to work on a budget handbook in the future so future employees will have a blueprint to guide them in the process. The committee also voted to release the IT audit and the accounts payable audit. Both of these audits were discussed in detail in previous meetings, and the committee asked for clarifying information. Once the questions and additional research was conducted, the reports were presented at the October meeting, and the committee voted to release both audits. Both of these audits had the full cooperation from management, and once a reasonable amount of time has passed, my office will perform procedures to determine the effectiveness of the corrective action plans. The 4th recommendation from the committee was to continue to outsource the IT audit activity. The legislation for this action will come before the board at the November 15th meeting, and the final action was to allow, the legislation for this action will come before the committee, will come before the board at the November 15th meeting. I had an additional thought here that somehow made it onto my notes. Anyway, Mr. President, this concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Madam Internal Auditor. Any questions for the Internal Auditor? Thank you very much. Let's now take up our consent agenda. Is there a motion that we accept the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there discussion on any piece of legislation within the consent agenda this evening? Board members? Seeing none? Mr. Peretti?
Thank you for the donations from David and Deandra Steckel and from State Bags. Thank you very much.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much. Seeing no other questions or comments related to the consent agenda, Mr. Treasurer?
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Vice President Cole?
Yes.
Ms. Gibbs?
Yes.
Ms. Hudson?
Yes.
Mr. Peretti?
Yes.
Ms. Reyes?
Yes.
President Baker?
Yes.
That motion carried.
Thank you very much. Now we will move on to announcements, and there's one thing I want to share briefly, and that's related to our next board meeting. So our next board meeting is set for November 15th. We imagine it will be a relatively short one, followed by a work session that the board will have related to community safety. The meeting is going to be held at Northland High School. It will start at our regular time, 5:30 p.m. We plan to hear presentations from the administration detailing our current safety and security activity, our CPD SRO partnership, and our existing counseling efforts as it relates to responding to safety-related events in our schools. The superintendent and his team look forward to providing this information to the board at that meeting, and although the work session is a public meeting, the board will not hear public testimony at that time. However, the board wants to hear from the community on this issue and considers that input critically important and will plan for an opportunity for that public input sometime soon. So if you do plan on attending the next meeting, remember it'll be at Northland High School, so make a note so that you don't come here and then are late for the meeting. So just wanted to let everyone know that. We look forward to hearing that information from the administration. It'll be a good meeting, and then we look forward to then subsequently hearing from the community on community safety issues. So any other board members have anything they'd like to share? Mr. Brown?
One brief item, and I don't think it was touched on, but I wanted to report, or I heard a favorable report of a couple of our kids who were honored by the Franklin County Commissioners before their meeting this morning. They did a great job for us, and they were among students from 15 school districts in the area who were honored for arts or academics. Our two honorees, Isafu Berry from Briggs and Judah Culp from Fort Hayes. She sings and does lots of other things great, and Isafu is a great writer. And I've got more biographical, but it was nice to see them out in the community and recognized, and our students doing good things. Their teachers were Wendy Robinson and Martha Tepper, who had nominated them.
Thank you for sharing that, Mr. Brown. Any other announcements? Yes, Board Member Hudson, I believe you were next.
Thank you, President Baker. Actually, it's not an announcement, but I just want to follow up on from the Audit Committee report. I just wanted to thank Office of Internal Audit and the administration. The 3 reports that were released were the culmination of many months' worth of work. There was a great deal of collaboration, some very, very good work. There's some overlap on some control issues and other issues on the IT audit and AP. And I think everybody sort of saw that overlap and dove in and worked on it really productively. So we've got some things to do, but overall, they were great efforts. And I think for board members, remember audit, the internal audit is the board's eyes and ears. And these are very good reports. So if you can take time to read those, the IT report was prepared by the Schneider Downs firm. It's quite thorough and quite good. And but I just wanted to thank everyone for all their efforts. And it doesn't mean it's all done, but it certainly, these are marks of the reports. Indicate a great deal of work that went into those, and there's good plan for remediating the issues and moving forward for better efficiency and better controls.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Mr. Vice President?
Thank you, Mr. President. Wanted to speak about an experience I had throughout the district in 4 different schools last week. I had the opportunity to visit Forest Park, Valley Forge, oh my goodness, Siebert, and there was another school that is escaping me, but they all had some outstanding and creative after-school experiences. I just really encourage any of you who have the opportunity to dive in any number of our neighborhoods and see some of the brilliant things that our principals are coming up with that bring the community to our school buildings, that invite folks in the community, in the neighborhood to celebrate education and just be a community and a family together in that type of environment. It's just amazing. There was a trick or trunks or treat or trunks event. That was just a phenomenal idea. I'd never experienced anything like that before. It was really incredible. The other piece is that the External Monitoring Committee has been very active and in force since we really picked up work earlier this year. I can expect that we will be submitting a grade that the committee has been giving us either sometime in early December. I believe it'll be early December. In addition to that, we will be adopting a new rubric with some more spelled out categories that is phenomenal. We saw this out of New York State, and I was very excited about what I saw. I think it just adds to the great work that we're doing. I again want to thank our member, Dr. Geraldson, for being here as well. But we've done some great work. We have an upcoming meeting, Dr. Stanford. I did not have my food today, so I'm a sugar low. Can you tell us when our meeting will be for the External Monitoring Committee?
It is a week from tomorrow on November the 9th, and we will be meeting in the Cabinet Room from 6 o'clock until 7:30.
Thank you, sir. All right, that's it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vice President. And Board Member Gibbs?
Yes, thank you. And just a reminder that the Innovation and Reform Committee will meet tomorrow at 6 p.m. at Columbus Downtown High School. That meeting is open to the public.
All right, thank you very much. If there's nothing else for the good of the cause from board members this evening, Mr. Vice President, would you please offer a motion?
Yes, Mr. President, I ask that we recommend that the board recess into executive session per section 121.0 5.22 of the Ohio Revised Code to prepare, conduct, and review negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation and other terms and conditions of their employment, and to consider employment, discipline, or compensation of public employees.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Mr. Treasurer?
Vice President Cole?
Yes.
Ms. Gibbs?
Yes.
Ms. Hudson?
Yes.
Mr. Peretti?
Yes.
Ms. Reyes?
Yes.
President Baker?
Yes.
Mr. Brown? Mr. Brown?
Yes.
That motion carries.
Thank you very much. The Board of Education will now recess into executive session. We will adjourn from that meeting without returning to these chambers. Have a good evening. Thank you very much.